Episodes 1 and 2 of Season 1, Mr. October and Neverland. The planet is ruled by 5 massive, unaccountable companies in the year 2120. The Earth component of Alien, Earth might not seem that unrealistic. But the alien component is still fantastically alien. The creature that exploded out of John Hurt's chest and into the public mind in 1979 has now made its appearance on the tiny screen and on our planet, with its projectile jaws and chitinous black body. At the start of this Noah Hawley prequel series, Prodigy, the brainchild of a brilliant entrepreneur named Boy Kavalier, Samuel Blenkin, is the newest corporation on the block. He is a glib psychopath and the youngest trillionaire in history. He views a mass casualty incident as a welcome but unexpected commercial opportunity. Additionally, he is the Dr. Frankenstein responsible for the newest techno-organic life form in town, hybrids, which are artificial bodies the size of adults that are almost indestructible and into which the consciousnesses of dying human children are passed. We are only informed that children's minds are adaptable enough to endure the process, and that those minds have been forced into adult forms because synthetic bodies are immobile. In this manner, they can grow up and mature intellectually and psychologically without ultimately resembling the Robot Little Rascals. This will also help the show avoid any Stranger Things style aging concerns moving ahead. Marcy, Florence Bensberg, the show's protagonist and the first of her type, is a charming young cancer sufferer who pioneers the surgery. When her mind is transferred, she renames herself Wendy because she believes her new body, played by Sydney Chandler, looks like a Wendy. Fortunately for her, Wendy fits the so-called boy genius well because he loves Peter Pan. Like Michael Jackson's property, Kavalier's research island is called Neverland. He gives his first group of hybrids the names of Peter Pan's gang from the J. Barrie novel and refers to them as the Lost Boys. Please don't split hairs, but Smee was Captain Hook's first mate and wasn't a lost boy. Even in a fully corporatized environment, it seems absurdly unethical, and probably illegal, to dump children's thoughts into adult bodies and hope for the best. In fact, Wendy and the other lost boys are prohibited from communicating with their families in any way going forward. This is a cost of survival that they are all barely old enough to agree to. However, a disaster provides Wendy with an opening. The event in question is the collision of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, a competitor of Prodigy, and its deep space scientific research vessel, the Maginot. Since they sent Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley on the suicide missions that propelled the first movie, these suits have been the franchise's heavyweights. The ship crashed in the center of Prodigy City in the nation of New Siam, which is likely the new names for Bangkok and Thailand after they became Prodigy's fully owned and run subsidiary. This was unfortunate for the company's CEO, Ms. Yutani, Sandra E. Sensendiver. The boy genius informs Yutani that he intends to keep the wreck and everything in it, unless and until the collective lawyers of the companies say otherwise. Possession seems to still be 9/10 of the law at this point in humanity's future. In fact, if trillionaires are in control, it might be the only law left. Naturally, Kavalier is still unaware of the cause of the ship's crash, not that I believe such knowledge will deter him. Nearly the whole crew has been killed by a zoo of repulsive, lethal extraterrestrial parasites that have escaped, or been purposefully released, from quarantine aboard the spacecraft. The lone survivor is Moro, Bobo Sise, a quiet, intense, authoritative man whose biomechanical upgrades distinguish him as a cyborg, defined here as a human with robotic or technology implants. A synthetic, or a completely artificial robot in human form, is not the same as this. However, Moro exudes a certain artificial single-mindedness. Securing the specimens for Weyland-Yutani was his top objective even before the crash. He will do whatever it takes to do this, even if it means destroying his fellow crew members by locking himself in the only safe room and defeating the search and rescue teams that Prodigy dispatched to look for survivors at the crash site. These rescue crews are not all made equal as they navigate the tumultuous streets and crumbling building into the severely damaged ship that is now entrenched there. Indeed, there are human beings, such as the medic squad member Joe, also known as Hermit, Alex Lawther, and the troop's Siberian, DM Camille, and Rashidi, Mo Bar-El. In their spare time, these three jump over damaged high-rise stairwells and attempt to avoid being ripped to pieces by the show's titular character. Even if every other soldier deployed to the accident scene is dead, they are not alone. Wendy and the Lost Boys are among the cyborgs and synthetics. Wendy has been obsessed with her brother, Joe, the nice medic, whom she keeps an eye on via surveillance footage during her whole stay under Kavalier's care. Every public and private area in Prodigy City seems to be constantly monitored by digital technology. In order to share an old inside joke with Joe, Wendy once succeeds in taking control of a customer service robot. Her programmers and handlers, including Kavalier, the scientist Dame Sylvia, Essie Davis, and the white-haired synthetic trainer Kirsch, Timothy Oliphant, are taken aback by her demonstration of natural, undiscovered hacking ability. Wendy offers herself and the other Lost Boys to act as their own search and rescue team after catching a glimpse of a news report that depicts Joe working diligently at the crash scene. They are essentially Superman without the X-ray vision and freezing breath, as their artificial bodies provide them with superhuman strength, agility, durability, endurance, speed, and hearing. Naturally, this begs the question of why anyone with sound judgment would implant pre-adolescent children's brains into unstoppable sentient weapons and then make a conscious effort to initiate adolescence, as Dame Sylvia and Kirsch explain. However, there is no indication that the boy genius and his two accomplices are acting rationally based on what we can see about them. In any case, Wendy finds Joe, but he takes a while to believe her when she claims to be her. I doubt that being almost eaten just a few minutes before had a significant impact on his cognitive function.